Welcome to the JEMS Report, brought to you by Clarion Events, Fire and Rescue Division, and the Journal of Emergency Medical Services. My name is Ted Lee, and I'm the editor-in-chief of JEMS Magazine. Along with Jeff Frankel, our managing editor, we are bringing you subject matter experts and industry leaders in all things pre-hospital medicine. And today, our very special guests are Kerry Degen and Jill McCafferty from Hennepin EMS. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So, Kerry, why don't we start with you? Why don't you give us a little bit of background about who you are and what you do at Hennepin?
Sure. My name is Kerry Degen. I'm the Deputy Chief of Education with Hennepin EMS, and I have a little over 30 years of EMS experience. I've been in education for about 25 of those years, playing various roles, either as a manager, coordinator. I was college faculty for a while, and I've been with Hennepin EMS for the past 4 years.
Jill, how about you?
Hi, I'm Jill McCafferty. I am the Battalion Chief of Education at Hennepin EMS. I have worked at Hennepin since 2002. I was a paramedic on the street until about 2018, so about 16 years. And I transitioned into education in 2018. And I was the EMT coordinator for our fire-based services at Hennepin in our primary service area, so 7 different fire departments. And earlier this year, I made the transition to battalion chief.
Well, great. Thank you guys for the introduction. So for those in the audience who don't know who Hennepin is, why don't you give us a little bit of background about the service and the community it serves?
Sure. So Hennepin EMS is a ALS ambulance service that provides ambulance coverage, 911 coverage for all of Minneapolis and 14 surrounding communities. Last year we added a BLS division as well, so we do have a few BLS units on the street, and then we also have 4 community paramedics who are out doing that type of work in the field.
Great. So a relatively large urban system. What's your typical call volume?
Usually we're around 90,000 calls per year. And I should add that we also have our own communications center. And then obviously EMS education is another division that we have.
And you both are from the EMS Education Division, and that's kind of why we're talking to you guys today. So let's kick off with, you've got a paramedic trainee program that you guys are working on or have been working with. So why don't you give us a little bit of background about, why you started that program, what that program entails, and kind of, what are the goals and overall results of that program?
Yeah, the trainee program started in 2020. Coincidentally, that was really perfect timing because that coincided with all of the increase of volume related to COVID and around that time period. But it was really introduced to address some staffing issues that we were seeing kind of across the industry. But that program allows us to hire EMTs. We then put them through paramedic training. It's historically been around 7 months for us to do the paramedic training. And then in the end, they have a 3-year commitment to be a Hennepin paramedic. Our first cohort, we had 24 individuals start. And then since then, we've had a little bit of a smaller group just to help manage clinical sites and things like that.
So this all kind of stemmed from the shortage that you guys were seeing?
Correct. Yeah, it was difficult for us to find enough paramedics to really fill the vacancies that we had. So it was part of the solution of addressing that staffing shortage.
So how is that unique? I mean, how did that address your issues? I mean, 24 for paramedic class, any paramedic class is actually pretty large, for
Yes.
sure, and quite a few bodies to manage in the clinical and internship settings. But so what's the result so far of this program? How is it working for you?
We've had really positive results. Overall, we've had over 60 individuals that have become Hennepin paramedics. Not all have stayed to date, but we do have a lot of our positions that we've been able to fill, and really, it's just helped us to grow kind of our system paramedics and to uh, really kind of ensure the quality of the paramedics that we're hiring. And we've had really positive results. A lot of these individuals have come from the kind of surrounding communities around Minneapolis. So it's always a benefit to have people who have grown up in the area that they're serving. Just provides a little bit more community connection to that as well.
So what are the particulars of this program? Kind of, how it's framed and how it works. You said they're hired in as EMTs and they're in the program for 7 months, but kind of what's unique about your program and how you get these students and employees through to the paramedic level?
Yeah, really the process is they apply, they get interviewed, they go through all of the pre-employment checks to get in. There is an entrance exam that they complete as well. That portion is consistent with what our regular paramedic program is. But really, they are 40 hours a week committed to their paramedic training. That really allows a lot of students the opportunity to focus on their education and not have to worry about going to another job or kind of working a lot of hours to really make sure that their bills are paid. So we pay them a reasonable wage through their training. And then in the end, once they graduate, they're basically have a position waiting for them in our operations division as a paramedic.
Okay, great. All right. So another program that you guys have is the Talent Garden. So can you explain to the audience more about that program and how that might differ from your paramedic training program?
Yeah, the Talent Garden program is a program that we just completed our third year. So I think we started in 2022. And the Talent Garden is through our Office of Health Equity. So they put on some events called Youth with Stethoscopes, and they bring in a number of high school students from surrounding communities to attend these events. And then those students apply for the Talent Garden. Each year we get hundreds of applicants from those groups, and we usually select about 24. Similarly, they are hired by Hennepin. They are paid to come and attend an internship. The portion that we provide is an EMR course for each of these participants. And then they also complete an internship throughout the hospital. So they're paired with other clinical providers throughout the hospital system. So that could be a physician, a nurse, RT. It could be somebody in lab or EMS. And they go through the EMR course. That's usually 2 days a week. And then the rest of the time they're paired in these internships. These are all high school age students, so they're either going into their 11th or 12th grade year. And through the internship, then they are kind of given the opportunity to really shadow some areas that they're interested in working. We've had a lot of success from that program. We have a number of individuals who are in a 4-year institution now for nursing or pre-med, PA, a lot of different avenues that they've pursued. And it's just really kind of their introduction into healthcare in general. And then we're able to give them an introduction to EMS as well. But this program specifically has really expanded our diversity and really has brought in a lot of individuals that otherwise probably wouldn't have had that opportunity.
So growing from your community, that's a unique look at it. A lot of programs have been looking at the high schools trying to figure out how to recruit more, how to get people into this. So this sounds like a very exciting thing. About how many students total have gone through this today?
We've had, it's a little over 60 students. So last year was our biggest group. I think we had 24 that went through. And everybody to this point has completed the EMR course and has attended all of the internships. And I think they recognize it's just a really neat and unique opportunity for them. And it's one of the other pieces is we recognize that it's really important for the community to have providers that look like the community they serve.
Right.
And that's been a great asset through both of these programs.
Also, you mentioned that it was such a diverse group, not only coming in, but having the opportunity to see multiple healthcare opportunities, opening up kind of their eyes to what's possible. When a lot of people thought that, well, it's not possible for me to go into this, and you show them that it is possible. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah, and I think everybody recognizes that physicians and what their role is and nursing and what their role is, but they may not realize that there's a lot of behind the scenes or other roles that they could pursue. Right. That may be a better fit for them in the long run.
Very nice. So, and lastly, you have a program called Pathways. So why don't you tell me about the Pathways program?
Yeah, absolutely. So EMS Pathways Academy was established in 2016 as a partnership between Hennepin EMS and the City of Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Fire Department. And this is also an internship through the City of Minneapolis where individuals can apply and be accepted to an EMT class. So they also get paid an hourly wage and they get their EMT program paid for. We do this one time a year with a class size of about 20 to 24. And they take our EMT class about 3 days a week. We offer PT sessions in the morning that is staffed by prior EMS Pathways students who have gone on to fire careers to help prepare them for either a CPAT test or a lifting test at an EMS agency. Throughout this program, we bring in guest speakers who introduce them to different career paths that they can take once they get their EMT certification. And we end this class with a job fair there where we invite different fire agency, different EMS agencies, even some clinic and hospital settings to come in and recruit and advertise and talk about their programs. And it gives our students the ability to see what is available to them with this EMT certification.
And how successful has that been for you guys? Because it's still not relatively new. 16 has been a while. So
yeah, so we have had a number of different avenues that these students can pursue. We've had a couple that have become dispatchers for Hennepin EMS. We recently introduced a direct pathway into our Hennepin Trainee program. So being able to reserve a couple of seats for Pathways graduates to apply, and once passing all of those kind of prerequisites, getting into the trainee program. And we currently have 3 Hennepin paramedics that are past Pathways graduates. I think at last count, the city of Minneapolis has hired about 162, maybe not quite that many, pretty close, quite a few of our graduates. So it must have been 62. Sorry, there you go. 62 of our past Pathways graduates onto their fire department. So they recently approved that they can hire 30% of each one of their cadet classes with Pathways graduates, which is really outstanding.
Oh, that's great. So was the fire department in the area also having issues with recruitment?
I think everyone in EMS is, right?
Mm-hmm. Recruiting
and as people are retiring, being able to fill those spots. And, the other part of this is like Kerry said, is being able to reflect the community that we serve. And part of Pathways' mission is to give people that necessarily wouldn't have the means or the opportunity to take an EMT class that ability by making it an internship, and not only giving them an hourly wage, but paying for the EMT program for them. They don't owe us any sort of employment or payback. They are welcome to take their EMT certification and find their own path, and we help them along that way.
Well, it sounds great. And just with you guys talking about all 3 programs, of course, I started thinking like we do, and we're like, okay, here's a way into the system. So if I started with the talent garden as an 11th grader, and then I went into the Pathways as a 12th grader or right out of high school, and then move into the paramedic trainee program, I have pipelined from high school right into your program, all 3 ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we haven't had that happen yet, but we are waiting for that day. That will be
for that first one. I was going to say, did you guys set that up to where it was kind of like that leapfrog into each one? If they wanted to, somebody could definitely move through that system.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we really intended that necessarily, but it will be welcome if that does occur. Yeah.
So with all this revolving around, recruitment, retention of individuals, what are you seeing from the rank and file that are watching this happen for the department and for the community? What are your line paramedics and supervisors? How are they giving back? How are they feeling about these programs?
Well, I think one of the main areas that our line staff really give back is in the precepting world. They are taking these students, and each student is riding for many hours on the ambulance with them, and there's a lot of real learning that's occurring out in the field. And we have some really, really terrific paramedics who are taking these students under their wing and really making sure that they're kind of developing or evolving kind of through the program as they should. And I think it's welcomed. I think any time we can bring enthusiastic staff on board who are really eager to start their careers and start their professions and really join a talented, well-rounded group, I think that's always been welcomed.
Jill, you mentioned that some of the past program completers came in to do things like PT in the morning. Are you seeing a lot of that give back? People who've gone through the program. How are they recruiting for you, for new people coming into the program? Hey, I went to this program. This was awesome. You guys need to do this too.
I think our past students are actually our best recruiters. And they have such a positive impact in whatever direction that they go, and it has gotten such great publicity that we have a ton of applicants and we have to limit our size. If we could do this twice a week or twice a year, I think people would welcome that. But our past students come back, and not only do they provide PT for us, they come back as instructors and they want to teach. They come back and hold study sessions. They have brought in old notes and study guides to share with students that have been in past groups. It has been pretty amazing. I think a lot of people that have been involved in Pathways, it just holds a really special place in their heart. And we see that they just want to give back and see this program grow and get better every year. And I truly think it has. And a lot of that is thanks to the people that have been part of it.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a testament to your efforts when you have people that have gone through are willing to come back and willing to sacrifice, like, well, you sacrificed through this program, but then they see that there's so much value in it that they're willing to give back to the next group or the next generation as it comes through. So kudos to you guys for this. So the big question, the $50,000 question is, well, what does the future hold for these programs? What's next on the horizon? What are you guys hoping to do with these as you move into the future?
So the plan is really to continue each of these programs. And like Jill mentioned, I think if we could offer these more often, that would be great. It's just practically speaking, that's really a challenge. I think our trainee program at this point, we're planning on offering a new trainee program each year. The talent garden, some of the things that we've talked about is maybe instead of offering everyone an EMR course, maybe we'll do a different path that maybe like a CNA or another type of offering. We've talked about doing EMT level for that group, but that's just time constraints is a little bit of a challenge. And then our physicians are really, really active with us as well. So if we can pair up some of the talent garden students with a physician to get a little bit more of a perspective of EMS, that would be another great path. I'll let Jill talk about the Pathways group.
No, with the success of Pathways that we've had, like I said, we're always looking at what else can we do? How can we make this better? And so right now, we are just really excited to be able to continue to offer it one time per year. Excuse me. We're excited to, of course, excuse me. We're excited to be able to sustain this program. And, maybe, like you said, maybe it is going to be a bridge from Talent Garden to Pathways once they graduate and directly into our paramedic program. I think that would be amazing. And Kerry and I have been talking about what that possibility would look like. And if not Pathways, into our EMT program that we offer in-house. So I think there's a lot of room for growth always.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds great. And we're coming up on time. So I want to thank you guys for spending a little while with me. I know you're super busy and you got to get back to your programs and all the students that are waiting for you for sure. But any closing comments or statements on, the importance of, this community outreach and kind of growing your own in the system?
I guess for me, one of the really rewarding pieces and the thing that really paints our success is going to these graduations. And the Pathways group, we always have to find a space that's large enough to hold all of these family members. And there are a lot of people in uniform who are showing up. The casual instructors that we have, the people from the fireside come and help celebrate these students. And we've noticed the same thing with our trainee program. And it's just a lot of pride and a lot of joy in seeing their faces when they cross that stage and have completed that portion of their journey.
That's great. Jill, any closing statements from you?
I think Kerry summed it up. I think that, we are pretty excited about all of these programs and what it looks like for our community and what it looks like for the future of EMS. And that is a big part, is giving back to kind of where we came from, right? And making it better for the future. So.
Well, again, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day, and thank you for all the work that you do. Your community is well served with the programs that you guys are putting on there. So it was a pleasure hearing from you both, and I look forward to hearing more in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having
Ted.
us.